Saturday night and the lights go hot. SGPN on the mic at the Derby spot. Virtual Kentucky running live on the stream. 3 big races, 30 large in the dream.
10 grand heat after heat in the globe. Big vibe flying down the line in the show. Paraquine pumping like a backstage drum. Photo finish live where the legends come.
Turn it up, let the numbers ride, and hear the chat roar. Worlds collide. SGPN run the show tonight. Derby in the clouds under neon light. Foals eve tomorrow, new hopes rise. Monday brings the babies with fire in their eyes. Stack those bets, let the thunder roll. Every heartbeat locked in one big goal. SGPN, let the wild run free. Paraquine in my hand, feel the energy.
Hosts crack jokes while the gates line up. Crowds going crazy as they fill that cup. Digital dirt fly when the bell hits loud. Every pick riding on the voice of the crowd.
Horses dig in when the backstretch calls. 100,000 dreams in those pixel walls. Stretch run hits and the chat explodes. SGPN driving down the final rows.
Turn it up, let the numbers ride.
Hear the chat roar, worlds collide. SGPN run the show tonight. Derby in the clouds under neon light. Foals eve tomorrow, new hopes rise. Monday brings the babies with fire in their eyes. Stack those bets, let the thunder roll. Every heartbeat locked in one big goal. SGPN, let the wild run free. Paraquine in my hand, feel the energy.
Tomorrow's Foalsy.
New dreams coming.
New dreams coming.
Monday brings baby.
New season running.
Foalsy,
Foalsy, let the future bring.
SGPN run the show tonight. Derby in the clouds under neon light. Foals eve tomorrow, new hopes rise. Monday brings the babies with fire in their eyes. Stack those bets, let the thunder roll. Every heartbeat locked in one big goal. SGPN, let the wild run free. Paraquine in my hand.
Feel the energy.
And we are off. Welcome into episode 37 of Run for the Roses on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am Ryan, real but money kind of Kramer. Got crushed last week in the NFL. And I am joined by the breeder of He's Ready to Gig, a.k.a. the season 29 Kentucky Derby champ, Mr. Scott Bowser. Scott, happy Friday. How are we feeling?
Ready to horse around here.
I appreciated both the drum and the laugh track there. That was very nice. A fully produced show here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Happy season 37 to all who celebrate.
Yeah, man, we're having a great week 1, I think.
Having a certainly a solid compared to the last couple seasons.
Yeah,
loaded show. We're gonna talk about some season 37 changes / little update for you. We're gonna talk about Foals Day. Obviously, hope everyone had a great Foals Day. We're gonna talk a little horse sales. We saw an SS on the Left Dirt World change stables, but we'll talk about that. And then I don't know. I think we were kicking around the idea of a little FFPC lineup at the end,
maybe 2.
So I think we'll throw together a little FFPC.
There's 2 quarterback angles I have for this. So
what you do is, if you're a real professional tout, would you put the one you're going to play, but then you also say the ones you like, so you're covering all your bases.
There you go. That's
So we'll throw out a lineup for the FFPC Challenge 2 at the end of the show. If you're not familiar, head over to myffpc.com.
yeah, these
Very
are
simple. It's a very simple format. It's not like your traditional DFS lineups. It's not a draft like an underdog type deal. Set it and forget it. Pick a player from each team. That's pretty much the rules. And you play to the Super Bowl. And if you're gonna give it a shot with us later, use the code SGPN and get a free $25 when you sign up. So there's $35 lineups and there's $50 or a $200 lineup. So if you're gonna play the $35 lineup, you get most of the way there if you use our code SGPN. And that same code works for Photo Finish Live. So if you're getting your stables started, use the code SGPN. Hop into the SGPN Turf Club, get access to the Turf Classic, the Dirt Classic, breed discounts, sales, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, I checked a lot of boxes there.
Yeah, you did.
Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with
I
the
just wanted to throw out the FFPC real quick. That promo code is great because when I signed up with it years ago, I believe I won some lineups in my first one. And it just kind of turned into a snowballing thing of now I have so many lineups. And it all kind of started with that one original one I got for like $10. And I just kind of turned it into, that turned into like $335. That turned into like $635 or, and it just kind of
chip in a chair, Bowser. Chip in a chair.
Yep. Paper clipping your way up. And so,
all right, let's executive decision. Let's talk about the mega.
I was gonna say the mega sale. Yeah. That's a great place to start.
Now named King Maximus.
It's a great name. They get what you're supposed to do here. SSs when you break in the new tier, it needs to have Exoticus was the first SS minus. You need to have some kind of classic Latin sounding name, ideally with the royal title affix. 10 out of 10, no notes with King Maximus.
Genghis Khan also works. Just all-time pillager. And so
Kublai Khan, his son or whatever, son or grandson, he actually because a lot of people say like half of Asia can trace their DNA somewhat back to Genghis Khan. Well, it was Kublai Khan that really spread the seed. I'll tell you that right now.
And I think it's even crazier than that. I think it's like 1/6 of the world.
Yeah, no, it's something insane. Yeah, well, half of Asia would be like 1/6 of the world,
which we know from doing the horse stuff. That blood permissibility is tricky once you get too crazy. All right, so shout out to Mile High Studs. Clearly, that was posting some messages looking to move the horse.
Now, should we do full disclosure here and say we were considering making an offer here?
Yeah, so I think it's a fun exercise to talk about just in general, the cost, the price. Was it a good deal? Was it a bad deal? We were kicking around the idea of, is this something worth buying? You can see it actually sold for $240K Derby, $3,000 US. Biggest sale we've seen in a while. And without knowing how it was going to perform on the track, which it started out, it has started out pretty well, I'd say. 3 podiums and 4 starts. But when evaluating this horse as a full, Bowser, like we were, what were we looking at and how to try to derive a price?
Well, okay, first off, we like the fact that obviously the SS, let's just that's the 10,000 pound gorilla in the room. We understand that this is the first left dirt SS, and also one hasn't been born. I think one just got born this season now as a 0-year-old, but before that we hadn't had. So you're gonna have, when you retire this horse, if you retire it right away or whatever, you're gonna have a little window there before anybody else can join you in the stud market as the only SS. So you do kind of have the market cornered for being the only. But I will say a lot of our best horses come from Little Star and go up a little, Sprinter Sacre. Like they have that same great grandparents and or Little Star's even a grandparent or a parent in some of the cases of ours. So that right there kind of was like, all right, I don't know how much permissiveness he could be a moneymaker for us on the market, but how much in-house use do we have? Like, because we obviously want him to be a fucking monster and we want to make our own monsters. Like that's the big, to me, that's the big way you make your money on this. Is sure the stud fees are nice, But even when we had great ones, we haven't had the best success selling studs. But what we can do is we can fucking make this guy a winner and make a bunch of winners off him. And that, to me, that's where the value is.
Now, I think the exception here with the SS is we know almost certainly, barring some sort of disastrous reveal, which I'd say probably based on the first couple of races, we're not going to get that. But barring a disastrous reveal, we know that this horse, to your point, right, at least at least 3 seasons ahead potentially of the next Dirt SS, which means, we were also speculating on what that stud fee would be. Obviously, that's a big way you can reclaim your cost here outside of racing. And so that was the part that was interesting to me, because in my head, it's like, okay, what do we know? The top dogs are usually going for, like, we'll just say 15K, 16K Derby. And so even, knowing that we didn't have a lot of matches, so we're going to be profiting more, hopefully, on the stud covers early on, which is probably a good strategy in general there.
Yeah.
But how many of those stud covers then do you need to sell to get back to even, or to make enough money to feel like this was a good investment? And so using just a rough estimate of 8, let's just say it's 16, we're collecting 8, and we're selling, what is the max you can sell? 15, 18. So basic math, right? 8 times 18 is what? 144?
Yeah.
So if you can generate 144, so perfect world, you can generate 144K for the first season, and say you lose some percentage each season, pretty quickly it was clear to me that if things don't go poorly, like the median outcome of the gamble is the horse is probably worth $3,000 to $4,000 US. And it's like, but then the next question is, do you really want to make that gamble on one horse?
Yeah, exactly. And that, to me, what if you can click on this horse's bloodline again? Because one thing I thought of immediately, anytime I see these kind of outliers, it's like, well, how do we need to be breeding with the stud that made him, or go down to the mom. We need to find our version of that mom with that dad, essentially. So maybe it's 2 completely different horses out there making this next SS minus for us. But what we need to be focusing on is finding our best female, which I think we might have just retired an LDF. Our best female right now is an LDS horse, actually. But we need to be looking at, all right, what was about this combo that produced this outcome? All right, how can we do that now? And that's and I think I may have found, not gonna lie, I've been doing a lot of breeding work the last couple of days, and I think I might have put together 2-3 pairs for us for this upcoming cycle, that it's the first time I truly feel, hey, we got a shot at SS here. So, like, I don't know how confident I am in hitting it, but, like, I do think it's in the range of outcomes where maybe before we were at 1 in 500 chance, and now we're in like a 1 in 75 chance or something with these upcoming ones. So,
yeah, I mean, certainly the dad, Adrian's, appears to have done well, or has created some nice children. So to your point on what's in the, we're looking at a plus 1 father,
Plus
a
one
-2 on the mom side, that with not, the most impressive profile, I guess. On the dad side, you have some clear jumping here. Like, there's clearly something in this bloodline.
I think there's something with the stamina in this one, because with the how low it is for the mom, it had to get some crazy jump, right, for it to go up to SS, because she's not raising the stamina or the temper at all in him, and temper for him is his weakness. So it's like, is the heart and start from her, like, did it hit the nuts on that, or they're both dealing with the SS plus, and then maybe,
well, we would expect that an SS is at least a +3 SS minus. And so, even with a +1 profile here, you're like, okay, where did it go up? Obviously, probably not flat across, but maybe. And then, yeah, again, back to the general, like we're running it at the shortest distance possible, which then coming back to the bloodlines.
And I'll say this: look at those first 4 races, dropped to 93 in its maiden, and then it's like kind of declined in fleet figure since.
Well, it's the classic, right?
You know,
One, it wasn't. It did go right into stakes, so it was a stakes race, but it was a yielding stakes race, and so I think one of the fallacies of stakes race, in general, harder races, is that earlier in the season they're soft, and the deeper you go into the season, the sharper the race becomes, and so it's not crazy to start hot and slow down. Now, I will say the fleet figure also a yielding race, so you have a little bit of an asterisk there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, 85 in a sprint for a 4 furlong race is solid. But again, this is an SS, and so I don't like. I almost feel like the expectation at sprint distances should be.
Well,
90.
I'm more concerned with that 75. It just dropped.
Yeah, which again doesn't look great, but maybe this is more of a yielding racer.
I mean,
right?
it's a juvenile still too, could be working out the kinks, but it shows me that the temper maybe didn't show up from what we see from the parents.
So in the end, we didn't buy. We ended up not buying it because it was just like, yeah, I kind of agreed with your take on the gamble not being worth it. Now we'll find out.
Yeah,
keep an eye on this ledger, see how it goes. The guy who sold it is an all-time bellyacher, so the idea that he sells this like just insanely dominant horse would make sense from like a gambling mush standpoint. And so yeah, we'll keep you updated as the horse ages out.
But shout out to Wild Stallions for making the purchase here. I mean, that took some stones, and I think you're gonna be all right no matter what here. Like, we talked about maybe the gamble wasn't worth it for us, but also from what we had seen, the price movement, had we known it would have been that 2,400, 240 would have gotten it, maybe we would have changed the tune. Because when we were really talking about it, it was when it was looking like for like 450 or whatever, 400, and it just didn't seem, like the math wasn't adding up.
Now, what would make me feel good about this, and of course, this could also just be a product of. Yeah, so here would be something I'd start. Like my next thing I would do with this horse is start monitoring the morning line odds and see how often is it the chalk. Now, the fact that it's falling behind, it's the second chalk here. It was the second chalk in that other race, means we probably have some good traits here. But if it's ever getting beat out by an SS minus, which it is pretty consistently,
even an S plus there on that one,
yeah, where you have similar odds, that makes me think, I can't wait to see the reveal, but it gives me a little bit of pause. Like you said, maybe one of the traits missed. Yeah, so last thing on the horse, so if we bought this horse, and the horse is racing well, would we be looking to potentially retire it early, or would we run it the full 3-year-old season?
No, we'd run it the full 3-year-old season, because I feel like this is going to qualify, right? Like, it's going to be hard for it to not qualify for the sprint championship next season. I mean, it could be.
Yeah, wrong. I would say my answer would be the goal would be to qualify, but if the first week of the qualification isn't going well, this thing's going to be more probably going to be
that's
more.
True. I mean, that's true. But I feel like you're probably going to be hitting the podium those first few,
You would think. You would hope so. I mean, it would.
So. Yeah, like.
But who knows? It's
like you said, if it's a week of duds after that first one, then absolutely, yeah, it's probably, like.
All right, man. Well, yeah, congrats to Wild Stallions for securing the bag. And congrats to Mile High for it's not the easiest thing to sell big dollar horses, and so well done getting it done all the way around. And in general, good for the ecosystem. People are still investing, they see some value. Now, next up, before we get to our full, actually, what do you want to do first? You want to do Foals? You want to do season 37 update real quick?
Let's do the update real quick, because then we can see how our new foals apply to the updates.
All right. So, shout out to Third Time. They put out the article every week or every month, give you the season updates. Now,
not as many changes this season. Last season was a lot more. Like, they redid the breeding structure, a lot of stuff. So,
Well, there is an interesting change here, and it's going to change the way that we'll have to talk about what our plans will be going forward. But the majors have changed. They're no longer running it by type. And I'm guessing you hadn't seen this yet because we haven't talked about this.
No, yeah.
But here, let me make it a little bit bigger.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see what's going on here.
And so basically, the key is that it used to be, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday was like the major week where you'd have right dirt, right turf, or right dirt, left, whatever the order was. Now they're mixing it up by distance. And so Thursday will be the gallops, Friday will be the sprints, and Saturday will be the stayers.
Okay, so just right off the top of my head, we have one that I think is already almost pretty much is very close to already qualifying in the sprint in the harbor, right? In Mulazim. And his race actually runs at 12:46 here. We could watch that live on here if we
nice. That'll be fun.
If we want to, because he's been on a real heater lately. Had back-to-back 90 fleet figures for us. So I mean, looking at a real, but yeah, so ideal. So when we get a lot of early points or something like that, it would start making sense then to maybe attempt qualifying in the gallop if we could too.
Well, that's what this is doing. We're deeper into the game. You're going to see, you're not going to see a right dirt horse race at right turf anymore, or left turf.
We're not going to see Charlie Chaplin's dead now. By the way, the season.
So the idea of
that has gone down with him. Yes.
Which, if you're not familiar, Charlie Chaplin won what, 3 of the majors?
Won 3 majors, or
was it 2?
Two qualified for 3. So was a left turf horse, won the Harbor Classic, won the right turf Artemis Cup Championship, and also qualified for the Kentucky Derby.
Insane. Anyway, you can't do that anymore. But now what you could do is, like you're saying, Bowser, you could qualify for a sprint and a gallop, or a gallop and a stayer, and potentially race in both.
This is fascinating for me because I think there's a lot of horses that have that like 6 to 8 furlong profile, and a lot of horses that have that like 8 to 10 furlong profile. And so you could really smash with those types of horses in qualifying for multiple majors. I love this.
We have a couple horses like this, and it's interesting too, because once they age out of the younger stuff, pretty much all the other series roll into a 6 or a 10, which is kind of in that, like that. It's not quite meeting in the middle, but it's kind of meeting in the middle. Anyway, I think this is very interesting for those fringe horses. And certainly I think this provides more intrigue than the way it was set up before. Obviously, it breaks us doing a left dirt stream at the end of every month. Yeah. But
I kind of like the idea of us covering all 4 stair finals though. Like that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, or we could also do it where we cherry pick the the day we're going to be in.
Yeah.
Although Fridays will be tough for me. Certainly the gallop and the stayer days potentially a little easier to do. Okay, so this is big change.
Well, and that's awesome too, because we're starting to put more stuff in the stayer championships and left turf. So we could, like that's cool right there too. Like I love this change. This is awesome.
And then also there's a kind of a side note down here that they've adjusted timings of races in general to allow you to pop back and forth between the gallop and the stayer funnels.
Love that. Love that.
Essentially go ahead.
No, I've noticed that the timing on these qualifiers is like tightly. It's like a cluster on a target at the gun range, where it's just like these tight little clusters where you can kind of pick and choose your spots. Now it makes more sense that, you could do dirt, the sprint, the gallop, are all happening right around the same time. So
they've essentially bunched types of races. This is the best way that I could describe it.
Yeah.
Your claimer, like there's a block of claimers here, and then there's a block of low stakes stuff, and then there's a block of stakes and graded stuff. So the funnels are like I said, that's probably the area of the game they've made the most.
Because if you think about it, each 28-day season is like a year, right? So each day for us in this game is like a 10-day kind of cycle, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So we're kind of going through the ebbs and flows of every couple days, like how Kenny McPeak would do it.
It's
By the
also
way, I don't know if you saw that there's a major scandal right now in the UK with this horse trainer that maybe conned a bunch of people, or maybe was getting stiffed by a lot of her vendors and owners. Apparently, that's a big thing in real life horse
really.
racing. Is like owners will like, because if you're a trainer like Baffert or whatever, you set up your stable with your training track, your staff. You got to get all the food, you got to do all this, and you're expecting these owners to pay their share for their horses at your place. And when these guys stiff, like, dude, that's such a fucking dickhead billionaire thing to do, is like buy race horses and stiff the trainer that's like barely getting by with his operation. Like,
Baffert seems like he's doing all right, but yeah,
he's doing all right. But a lot of them, aren't about. There's only one Bob Baffert.
So yeah, I mean, this is honestly like a massive change in the game. So kudos to the team. This also strikes me as the kind of change that was feedback driven.
Yeah, I love it too, because it allows us now to really, like, because I do think like Commandant maybe could have qualified at for the Kentucky Derby running at like 10 furlongs or something like that.
Yeah, now we'll be able to find out. That's certainly a fun little. It also it makes you feel less wasteful when you're throttling between.
Dude, because like there's been times where we have like 70 points for these things 2 weeks in. Why wouldn't we spend that next week trying to pop the major, the major over?
It also makes it easier to explore in the juvenile season, not worrying so much about wasting races.
That's true.
When you're throttling distances. All right, so another kind of big change. The SS minus population has gotten to where they are now eligible for all the low stakes stuff. So essentially, up until last season, you couldn't run SS minuses in allowances, for example. You can now do that. I really like the low stakes stakes race. It's either a restricted with wins for 600 Derby entry, or non-restricted for 1,000, and the allowances are 400. And they're all weighted, so they're all 2 pounds per grade. And like we've seen with the S minuses, now you kind of slide that up a rung. I still think the S minus S population will be very raceable in these series.
Yeah, I do too.
We're having success, and so
yeah.
My only real feedback here.
Talk about that last night of like how much of our quote unquote stable portfolio each season should we dedicate to make sure we can keep running the S minus S run of the allowance, because we're getting profits out of there straight up. Like it's a profitable area for us.
Well, it's one of those things too. It's like I think what I've learned between the win restricted big boy stakes races and the low stakes restricted and stakes races, it gives you kind of this step up of 600, 1,000, 1,800 to run real races, stakes races, in a world where you can obviously the big boy ones don't have the weight, but you can it gives you a lot more opportunity to kind of either bring your horse down the funnel as it's not performing up high, or climb up the funnel. And again, just having, my only feedback here would be, it would be great if there was a 4+ only low stakes. I don't know if there's a population issue there, but right now 4-year-old horses are almost in limbo. They're either good enough to compete with the 3-year-olds and running the low stakes, or that you just bench them until they're 5 and they got their own series.
Yeah.
Which in some cases that's what we end up doing. Now, the other note on these on the low stakes showdown change, which also applies to the silver stakes and the middle-aged madness series, lowdown is 3+, silver stakes is 6+, middle age is 5+. They all now use the same spillover race mechanics that the maidens do.
And I love this, dude. This has been a great change so far.
So the two major things this does for you: one, there's not a race fills, new race gets created, so there's no real importance to when you enter. So it's not pressing to like get that entry in right away. Essentially, you're able to see what races have horses waiting, and it can fill past 12 or past whatever the max is. And it essentially just uses some logic to break the race up into 1, 2, 3, whatever races, allowing for you know, maybe you have 16 entries, which would have been 12 and 4. Now it's 8 and 8. And so I think it makes it easier to entry. It levels the playing field a little bit. It's like having waivers in fantasy. It kind of takes away that like free agent hawk that just sits at his computer all day and gets all the good pickups. And I think most importantly, it provides better races. Like we've had way fewer races that only have 4 horses.
Yeah, exactly. And like it makes the pots more worth it. It makes your podium rate more in play now again, because in 4-horse fields, that third place isn't paying shit. Whereas now, you know, if you can consistently get in the top 3 in 8-horse fields, you're going to be doing okay.
Yeah, so very, very, very positive on this one. In fact, I would probably roll this if they haven't already. I would probably roll this out to all types of races. I don't know if they've done it with claimers yet, but like basically if it's not a qualifier for a major, I would possibly look into just using this format.
Yeah, I think this would work great for claimers actually. And
honestly, there's probably no reason to not do this for stakes races too. Maybe not for the graded because you don't need it, but all right. What else do we have? All right. Now this we're gonna do it live, as Bill O'Reilly once said, because I've not looked at this at all yet. So new free rolls.
All right.
This is brand new to me. I did not
free roller.
So basically, this is a how many times are you racing in a season? Are you racing? So if you're racing 800 or 500 races, you get access to this free roll.
I think
700,
500 usually.
Yeah, we could be in for the Warrior free roll. And notice they have a crown stimmy. I wanted to bring this up because I noticed Bowser, and I don't know if they. Let's get through this. I'll bring it up
this week. Yeah.
Well, no, I'll bring it up if it's probably at the bottom here. I'll save it for the end though. But anyway, so new free rolls for like the super users. To your point, Bowser, we probably in a good world, I don't even know if we get to 500. If I'm being completely honest, let me quickly pull up last.
Yeah, I'm just.
All right, last season
we had 492.
Oh, we're close. Yeah, we did have 492. Right. Okay. So a couple more races for us to get in that $250 free roll. Sounds about right. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is fun. The previous season's 2 highest race volume stables will pick the archetype and the weather. That's fun. So the big stables are in control of this one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Other notes. We brought this up last season, but you can scratch for free. I love this. Smart on the team. I don't think this is a good way to generate revenue. And it certainly will lower the barrier to pissing people off if they make a mistake. And then some other the bulk action stuff. If you don't have a huge stable, you're probably not doing it, but Bowser loves it. We can list all our studs.
Yeah, really. I mean, like even when we're only listing like 4 or 5 new studs, though, it's so easy to just go in there and because like even with 4 or 5, when we have a few hundred listed in there already,
yeah,
you have to scroll through to find the 4 or 5 that you. But this way, it's so much easier to find them and list them. Like I love it. And I realized I was listing horses last night when we were on the phone. And I could have just used that tool for that too. And I totally fucked it up, dude. But I was kind of looking at the horses one by one. So maybe, I don't know. But yeah.
And just to give people a view, like basically you get to see your horses in tabular form. Yeah. Which also is just a great way to view it. Especially when you're psychos like us and you have this many. And then the race queuing stuff. If you've not used it yet, essentially, we kind of talked about it last week, but basically you can. So I can let's say I put a horse in a race and it only has 2 horses in it. It's maybe a graded race or something that I want to be in. I can also enter it in a contingent race, and so if that race doesn't fill, it will refund you the money and then immediately fire you in the other race. So maybe it's the middle of the night, maybe the next race starts in like 10 minutes. it's a really nice, again, a really nice feature here. Like,
And
the more we can do autonomously, I would even push the team to take this logic and allow me to, let me fire my next week. I'm going off the grid for a week. Let me fire my next week of racers.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, like, and I think we're kind of getting to that. Like, I feel like we need to kind of slowly roll out some of that automated stuff like that, because we don't want it to happen too fast and people to think that the big sale is having too much of an edge with the massive changes. When we slowly roll it out, you realize actually this is good for everybody. Like,
well, yeah, it's like automating.
You have running consistently, the better the game is. That's bottom line. And so we need the big stables to be able to get the most out of stuff. And like you're saying, when you go in and put all these races in for us, we can't also have like we need that time to be effective. If you can set it up to where, if this one doesn't go, this one goes, we'll keep helping fill races,
And the other thing that I noticed was there were a couple of now they haven't been filling, but there were a couple so one of the things they changed is they've created some because there's no 4-year-old series, the high court's dead, but they've created some some G2s or G3s for 4-year-old plus. And like I said, they weren't filling, but they came with crown stimmies.
Yeah.
Bowser. And so perhaps the crown stimmy wasn't big enough, but I guess I bring that up to say that I think we're going to start to see crown stimmies show back up in the game.
Love it.
So this is not an official thing, but I saw in a couple races there, we were talking about it earlier with the crown stimmy in the free roll. So
all right.
So that's the update. And I would say just kind of my personal note is, again, the way the funnels are now, it's made it a lot easier to kind of, pop into the game for 30 minutes, fire off all the races, and just kind of pop out. And so I think all of this stuff has been very, very positive. All right. So
I always tell friends of mine that are like asking me about the game and wanting to get in maybe. And I always say, it's 100% something you can do for 10 minutes a morning when you wake up and take a shit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an element where it's like, yeah, I log on, I check my, whatever my beat writer news, update NFL news. Now with us, we have so many horses. I will say it does take me a little bit more time to kind of, and I've gotten better at structuring. I kind of look at the 4-year-old plus horses as one block. I look at the 2-year-olds and I look at the 3-year-olds.
Yeah, it's for a smaller stable, you can knock it out. Not you don't have to spend too much time on it. All right, let's get into our new foals for this season, because we got a race coming in a few minutes here that we want.
Oh, I like that. All right, so what do you want to just bring up the horses that you had?
Well, okay. But first off, okay, we'll do this before the next race, the race, and then we'll get into those ones after the race. Okay. First off, let's just do the ones I named, because you sent me this article, this Wikipedia page about a Polish bear in World War II that got some promotions apparently.
Okay, so if you're not familiar, I'll give everyone the quick backstory, but essentially, there was a bear in the Polish army that served like a soldier, got promotions, went with them everywhere, carried heavy shit for them. Started as a private, got promoted all the way to corporal. Wojtek, W-O-J.
Wojciech. Like they kind of pronounce it with a V, so it's like
you're right, little Eastern Bloc accent there.
Yeah.
And we've all seen the videos of people from that part of the world playing with bears. So this does make a lot of sense. But the bear joins the military, which, by the way, I didn't actually go into what war it was, but I know it died.
World War II. Yeah.
Okay, so it must have been late World War II, because it died at the age of...
Poland didn't last long in World War II. So.
Yeah, so I guess it would have been... It was born in 42. Okay, so as a young buck, it was used to intimidate other soldiers. It was used to carry heavy munitions boxes. They trained this thing to... It's one of the crazier stories. Anyway, it's called also it got the nickname the Soldier Bear, which how we don't have a movie called the Soldier Bear.
Yeah, dude, I want to watch it. This is a Pixar movie, bro.
This is not tied in with like Winter Soldier and whatever that World War II like comic book crap is with Captain America. How is the Soldier Bear not one of the nemesises? Anyway.
Yeah, so we did name also, we got Corporal Wojciech, and then we also have Soldier Bear. They're both grandsons of He's Ready to Gig. Just search by 3-year-old or 0-year-old. That'll be easy.
Oh, I'm looking at 1-year-olds. My bad. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah,
Soldier Bear. Look at those stars.
Yeah, no, Soldier Bear is an 8-star fucking SS minus Colt, dude. So very excited about him. His mom is Technician, and the dad is Ark Investment, I believe. Please be right. Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, some nice winnings there.
Yep. Ark Investment was a major winner, and Technician is a He's Ready to Gig daughter. So yeah, dude, love both these guys that we got. Like,
well, the stars were really nice there, and then the corporal.
Well, I believe he was on he's on the list of ones we wanted to talk about, actually.
Oh, okay. So let's what do we? How much time?
We got like 4 minutes.
We can always cut away.
Yeah. So this one was real. Like, I was so pumped when we got the results on this one, because this was Roman Surprise and Gig Economy, which is okay. Gig Economy, another He's Ready to Gig daughter. We now have like 3-4 He's Ready to Gig daughters that are pretty damn good. And also Down to Pound, He's Ready to Gig son is now one of our better studs in there. He's got a very good profile for us for breeding. Very excited about what we can get out of him coming up here. But I always love ones like this where, look, you got Little Star as a great grandfather for Roman Surprise, but it's not a lot of SS minus here, right? And so the fact that we got the S plus on S plus to breed up to the SS minus, I love it, because like, okay, like, I mean, I don't think we're going to run this one in claimers because of the great stars and good stars, but what I like about the potential here is we have this opportunity now where an S plus on S plus costs us less to breed than an SS minus on an S plus. So by still getting that result for a little bit cheaper, if we're going to put these in claimers or whatever, like, we kind of just slowly edge our PC a little bit more in our favor here.
Other cool thing about this horse is there's just a lot of our stuff in here. It's very much like, you know, we've been playing the game for a long time. You have some of our, like, not to mention like they're S's now, but like Vaporize is one of the great horses in this game. 23 now. Degen's only almost dead. 23.
Then like, so it is funny though, like how much of this horse is like,
this is exciting. And this is also one that we were talking about, like Roman Surprise is, you know, another one of our, have we had a ton of kids from Roman Surprise yet? Decent amount.
Yeah.
So they're I think 2-year-olds are the oldest, so they're just kind of hitting the track. So we don't have a ton of data yet. So it'll be exciting to see what this horse does, especially, and certainly projects to be something that, you know,
what I like about it is because he's okay. Our two, like, quote unquote champions that we've had, basically, I would say, and He's Ready to Gig, obviously the Kentucky Derby winner, but then also Roman Surprise, a high court championship winner, which is a defunct like 4-year-old, you know, thing. But the fact that we were able to combine our two kind of championship lines now into this one stud that went up a grade from them, love that, you know, like, and so we could kind of slow down on breeding those two in kind of now, because this guy is going to be the one who truly carries that bloodline on, you know, these bloodlines.
Yeah. And not only did we get the uproll, we got the uproll with the stars too.
Yeah. So he's got the same exact star profile as his grandfather. He's Ready to Gig, actually. So that's a profile that is nice for us. So.
It did. And this one's an SS minus. Excellent. All right. So we said we were going to pop over.
Looks like He's Ready to Gig too.
Yeah.
Red, like all red kind of look.
I'm going to bring that up. Yeah. Look at that. That glow.
Yeah. So this could be our, I'm very excited for this one. That's, you know.
Oh, Roman Surprise has a similar glow. I like it. It's our what do they call him? Big Red.
Well, and like if you remember, he's ready to gig. His dad, Charged Cyberchuck, comes through the -110 line. And
Oh yeah.
So it's like, we're at the point, we've been around kind of long enough now where we've kind of really created these, unique things with our champions of past interweaving all throughout. So
By the way, I didn't realize they've added the advanced.
yeah. It's right in here now. I can't tell if you're breaking up or my mic is.
Maybe me.
No, it's my mic. My headphones. Say something.
Check. All right, we're off.
There we go. We're off. All right. Normally he starts off a little stronger here, but we've seen him have some incredible finish.
Insane finish. This is a yielding race for what it's worth.
Yeah, so this could be a little all over. He is on a straight heater right now too, dude. As shown by his fucking fleet. Oh, here he goes. Here he fucking goes.
It's been a strong finisher. Let's see.
Yeah, he has been a very strong finisher as we come down to the final stretch. He's gonna fucking challenge at least for second. Come on, buddy. Let's see if you can push all the way. Push it harder. Push it harder. Push it. We know you got it, dude. We know you can edge by it. Oh my, yeah. All right.
I mean, so this, to your point earlier too about this horse, like, I think we're probably in, right?
Yeah, we're really close to in at this point because he had 25 points already going into today, and he just nabbed a second here in a grade 2. So I mean, that's another good chunk of points. Like
yeah. So to your point, we're currently in 4th place with 25 qualifying points.
Well, that was a nice little race for us, though.
Yeah, why is it not letting me? And yeah, shout out to Lacey taking down the win.
You know what's funny? I was kind of handicapping this race before the show, and I was like, Lacey's our competition in this race. I think we can beat up on these 2 LTF horses that are in it in this yielding for and yeah, that's how it went down.
I mean, this is, like you said, this horse is showing exceptional finish. Let me see if the fleet figures are out.
Which makes me think, can it be competitive for us at 7 if we're pretty much locked into the sprint or close to being like guaranteed for the sprint championship? Can we now try and get it
pop up to
the 7 furlongs? Because if the finish, he seems to be, closing really good at. Oh my God, look at that.
It seems like something's happening with the aging curve, or I mean, this general trend suggests that maybe not, but to your point, like a lot of this, I mean, these 290 dots are kind of breaking the rest of the graph, but we should probably give it a close look, especially considering what is this the 4th race of the season? Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, 4th race of the season, and we've gone 3rd out of 5 in a G2 at 6, and then 5-5-5, 2 yielding, 1 soft, but 90-90, and we'll find out in a second here. So in 90 seconds, actually.
Yeah.
So it does seem like there's, like sometimes with these, it's like maybe it's not confidence, but maybe it's something else. And then, this kind of is a horse that showed us something.
Momentum, maybe.
Yeah, momentum, or just like, yeah, there's something about it that, we've had this with too many of our good. Well, we notice it with the good horses, but they show up, and then all of a sudden something happens, and every one of our great horses, it feels like we've had like a streak where it's like, oh my God, like all of a sudden it's like 6 in a row where you're like, my goodness, this excuse me, this horse hasn't not cashed for us in a little while.
It's same when you look at like the great champions in just the game history. Like so many of them have just these insane runs where it's just like the heat check is real.
Yeah, and to your point, like looking at the odds, we had the long odds. Which I don't know what that tells you, but we have the best fleet figure.
Well, I'm not sure how much preference stars play into the odds. And as you see, I just think maybe our profile was a little better there for this race.
I think you're right, but I also think I'm starting to now believe that heart and temper are not involved in the odds, and
Oh,
that's the variable. That's why, like, oh, like, you probably have a good profile in the other stuff, but you're missing the stuff that lets you race.
the grit under the fingernails.
So not a particularly fast race either. So
No. Especially that's
79.
surprising for yielding, because usually yielding is where we see the big spike in the fleet figure. But I think yielding fleet figures in general, it's kind of
I think it goes both ways. I think the thing with yielding is it creates the widest range of fleet figures because you're comparing it against the most horses.
okay. That makes sense. But hey, we came up on about 1560 Derby there with 10 series points. So I will gladly take it before we move into his next graded race, because right now he's printing money, dude. Like, there's no reason to slow this down, right?
Yeah, and so, like, just to refresh the leaderboard. Oh, did it
It
not?
usually takes a little bit for them to get
Okay, the leader.
leaderboard.
But so we'll be at 35. So I mean, we always talk about where the cut line tends to be. I mean, the way I see it, we're 10 points from the cut. After this collection, we're 10 points from the cut line. So, I think one of the things we've talked about is that we, continue to push the profitable horses, but if they're qualifying but not necessarily scooping plus money Derby on every race, maybe you slow it down once you have those qualifying points. Be a little bit more strategic. But this feels like of all the horses that we've had qualify.
This is definitely one we keep pushing. Yeah.
Well, and I think just we've had enough of these horses now where it's like we've qualified for races where it's like I don't think we have a chance to win. Like, weather aside, like the He's Ready to Gig was all based on the weather at that point, but other times we've had horses where it's like Commandant, we're like, this horse is going to show up. And this is a horse that's going to show up. So I'm pretty excited about it. All right. Do we want to go back? All right. So we kind of talked about Corporal Wojciech.
Yeah. So I had the two that I sent you that I think, and one of them was him already, right?
Yep. And then the other was
So the other one was another one of our good horses that we've had recently is Game Manager. And we talk about this again. This is another one where we got S+ on S+, but Game Manager, I realize I'm kind of treating him as an SS- when I think of him for breeding. I think of him as a discount SS-, because look at that profile. He is a +2. Wait.
He's a +3.
Yeah. +3, yeah, S+. So looking at it like that, he's basic, dude. He's so on the fucking verge of being an SS-. Like, he's right there, I feel, on the cusp. And so if you can find horses that fit into what he's doing here, dude, like we did with Local Hustler, if you scroll down here to show us her profile. But yeah, okay, look at that, dude. Like, you see where we got the SS- pretty easy off these two, right? Like,
yeah. No, I mean it also, like, with it, they're both, like, to your point, they're both very strong S+ subgrades. And with going back to Game Manager, I think the temper is probably almost an S+. Now, I know this horse had some races where it didn't show up all the way, but this was a very strong performer.
He was pretty consistent. I was going through his track record, actually, because this Mulazim is now, like, we were talking about of, like, have we ever had a horse like him that 90 back-to-back 90 fleet figures? No, but Game Manager consistently would have, like, every other race be a 90. So you could kind of see where the temper wasn't quite there when you look at, like, the big picture on him. But yeah, even then, like, even as duds, he was still doing well in the field. It was because his ceiling was so hot. His floor was pretty high no matter what. It feels.
Yeah, and I think the crazy thing about him was that I think, like, I'm going to show it, but this is a horse that peaked as a 4-year-old. I mean, granted, maybe the competition's lighter, but you look at the way these finishes as a 4-year-old, it is all first, second, third, first, you know.
Yeah.
Not until we go back, you know, we got what, 1/9
he
and
got
1/5.
skunked in the Twin Spire Sprint. Yeah, he finished 19th out of 20. We were kind of bummed about that.
It was a soft run. It was a bad race. But then he came out as a 4-year-old, only 3 times did he not finish on the podium.
And then he came out and won a 7,500 crown there in the high court with the second place there. So
second place finish. So yeah, no, but back to the new foal. You were saying about it, just this is probably got to be 2 of our stronger S plus from a breeding standpoint, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, they're both just right on that cusp of being SS minus. I feel already, which is this horse, Lucky Local, also was kind of an insane uproll for the 2 parents there. I wish we would have got better stars on her with those grades, but she has produced, because her mom's stars, Jerry McGee, has such good stars on that side of the family. If you go click on her and the horses she's produced for us now, because this is kind of an incredible, when you look, because she's pretty much only produced SS minuses for us. She's only produced 1 S plus. The rest have all been SS minus. But look, a lot of good stars, like Kaiser in there, dude. That 331 stars that's very good to get out of that mom, you know, like. So I'm excited with some of the stuff we've been getting over here, big time.
Well, and I think part of that, it comes from the the grandparents. Jerry McGee is all stars, and the other side of that was if I pull back open
but it shows you sometimes where if you get the star down roll, it could come back the next generation.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You look at Jerry McGee. Obviously, this is one of our better star profiles we have in our stable, coming from Casino too. So not too shabby. And so, yeah, to your point, it's like with what we've learned from the breed reports is you can kind of see a remnants from the family tree in terms of where the range is. And so, and not to mention that it should also be brought up that Lucky Dog, who is the grandfather here, has generated a lot of horses that have won races. I mean, I'm gonna pull this up for you just to see, but like, look at how many of these horses have 7, 7, 10, 6, 7, 7, 6, 8. I mean, Kingman's in here somewhere,
right there.
One of the great studs. 7. So this is Lucky Dog is one of those horses we saw early on as did nothing, but has produced a ton of.
And because he's got that extreme finish and temper, it's like, and that's why I always say, like, I love studs like this because they have that weakness of speed, but he can lift up so many other traits, like temper, especially, which you can find so many horses that have everything but the temper that, like, all right, plug it in.
And also, like, this is something we identified from Lucky Dog, like long time ago in the game, was the natural progression of A+ to S+. And then, what did we get? Well, if we using this bloodline, we got a pretty good uproll, 2 S+ made a SS-. Anyway, yeah, looking forward to this one as well.
Well, and Jerry McGee was an interesting one too, because she was a famous down roll for us from 2 S+ parents, so we were kind of bummed about. But she was actually a decent racer, and we retired her a little early. She could have won a lot more on the track, but with her stars at the time and stuff, we felt she was better for us in the barn. And her grandkids now have really spread out through our stable.
Yeah, well, it's easy to use stars, right?
Yep.
All right. Anything else you want?
Yeah, let's go back to our foals here. Because I just wanted to point out, like, for a while there, we were kind of always we weren't getting the best stars on our SS minuses, right? Most of them were in like the first one was like a 4.5 with Generalissimo, but then we were kind of we were lucky to get 6+, right? 6.5. But look now how we're not just even on Corporal Wojciech is 7, but like even the one like Duchessa one right there is a 6-star. But you see now we're building in that framework to fill them in even more, you know, as we go forward here.
Well, what I would point out is and again, a lot of times I don't even look at the condition over here, firm or soft. And I'm just seeing a lot of horses that are 5.5 or 5, like basically 5 or more. We got 5.5, we got 5, we got 5, we got 5, we got 5.5, we got 5.5.
Well, and I noticed 7 and up SS minuses tend to sell more in the stud barn. So that's kind of what I'm always shooting for. I mean, and if we can get something like this now, Soldier Bear 8, that can move some stud covers, you know.
And the key thing is you're not sacrificing your left or your dirt. That's like that. I guess that was what I was mainly wanting to point out here. Is like we've built these star profiles to the point where, like you keep saying, like now we can fill it in. Like it's a lot easier to fill this in when you're starting with 2.5, 2.5, and 1.
Exactly. And so yeah, I'm really excited about just these 8, and this is also the most we had gotten before was 5 in one season. Or 6, it was 5, yeah. So now we got 8 here. So we're seeing us kind of hit that. Remember, it was just a few months ago where we went from a majority of S being bred to a majority S plus being bred, and now we're already creeping there for SS minus, which is very exciting.
We have 28 SS minuses now.
27 because one of them got claimed this morning.
I think, does that include the one that I claimed? I think.
Yeah. You're right, because you claimed one. That's right. So
yeah.
we you know, that's actually kind of a funny swap we did. We claimed one for 1,200, then we had one get claimed for 2,400. So yeah, that was kind of a little interesting come up. I'm not sure how much breeding we'll do with the one you claimed, but
it's 1,200 Derby.
I like that swap because we can keep this thing in play, doing like, you know, playing this day trade game with it kind of thing. And if it does have a great grade reveal, then we could breed, you know, we have the right star profiles for it, then absolutely we will breed it. You know, like I'm not afraid of that. I'm going out of my way now to no more like 4-star left dirt horse, you know, 4.5 star.
Look at this progression, Bowser. Our SS minus progression. We have a 9-year-old, we have a single 7-year-old. And when you drop down to the 4 or 5-year-olds, we have a total of 4. So it's going from 2 to 4, 6 plus 2.
Yeah, no, because I keep kind of saying, like, dude, like most of our SS minuses really haven't even done anything for, you know, like
so 6 of our SS minuses are 4 or older. Now we drop into 3-year-olds, and that's only 4.
Okay, one of those got claimed though, so we did breed 5 for that cycle. So
yeah. So we have that's a total of 10 of our SS minuses are 3 or older. Now it's like 2, we have 5 more. 1, we have 5 more, and then 8 more. So to your point, 13 of our 28 SS minuses are not on the track yet, which is awesome.
Yeah. And the stars are getting better and better, you know, as we move up the ladder. So like I would say here, like, okay, so like this Caporale, he might, and Alferez, those two are both probably claimer eligible for us now, based on what we're seeing we're improving the star profile overall in the stable at this end. So these kind of become expendable, right? Because Commandant Commandant at least has the 2.5 firm here with the 2.5 dirt. So he is 7 total, which we like, you know.
He was also good. And
he was also very fucking good, you know. So like let
me go back to our 0-year-olds. Any other I'll just scroll through them if there's anything else you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, no. Oh, and then I wanted to go to the S's and the S minus and S stuff, because we were talking about the low stakes showdown stuff and how we do think that there's we've been profitable there. There's a good market. There's an angle for those horses there's a place for them to run right now. And so, yeah, you're going to need to here we go. So go down all the way to the bottom to the SS minuses first. Because look at what I got here cooking here for us. Look at those stars down there. Like, and that's a Dallas Sucks kid right there, Hot Mike, you know, so from Hot Mike. So, I mean,
doesn't count because it doesn't have the cool
coat. It doesn't have the cool coat. Yeah, but it's in there. It's in the genetics. You never know when it's going to pop back up.
So, yeah, basically the logic here is we're kind of, you know, maybe explain what you're thinking with some of this low end stuff.
So I've just noticed how many like single shots one we have still running, you know, as a 6-year-old or, you know, a 7-year-old or something like that. Just,
yeah.
And we've had such good success at the S- level lately with from Is My Victory Song, Fox on the Gold. What's the one right now that we got? Tis but
Oh,
I mean, it's kind of been one after another lately. So I'm trying to keep our portfolio moving, but also it's like, dude, okay, this right here is an 8.5 star Philly S-. This will breed up into our better stuff, our better S and S plus stuff when because I realized the cheapest way for us to get stars from our stable onto the stud market and stuff where we can sell them like it's a commodity. Well, it's to fucking start it at these lower levels in-house and breed it up our chain and breed it up into our better stuff. That's the cheapest way we're going to get elite star horses with the grades.
Like it.
And so, then go over to the, so then we go up into the S's. Okay, so now I did like 5 breeds on the LT side with Bottom Line Bomb, who's a 2.5, 0. And the goal was trying to take some of our older S- stuff that we had with like kind of lower stars, and we were trying to flip it over to like 0 stars. So like that Market Boom one, it got a 1/2 star there. The Plaid Reno got a 1/2 star, but there was one that got like the Miami Ice one was insane. That was a big star uproll for the 1.5 soft. I was surprised there. But we've listed these because, okay, the turnover one, that's the one I feel like, okay, this one now is 5.5, 0. This could possibly help us a lot with our LTF operation, where if we got like 2.5 firm stars, but we're missing on the left and turf, this can really help balance that out.
Nice. We got some dark green in the past here.
Yeah. So, it's a work in progress. It really is. Like but like the idea is I'm trying to attack us more or not more, but like really take calculated risk with the star profiles in this lower range, because it will benefit us later on, when we hit on these, and we have hit on enough. So there's no reason to think why we can't keep hitting on them.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's all right, so yeah, I mean, happy Foals Day to everyone. As you can see, we have a bunch listed. Hit us up if you have any interest in any of these, or just buy them. If you buy any of the stuff we have listed that's 0 years old, we'll throw in
a older one that we have listed. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
dude, that Deep in the Congo one, that was the one this was like, I felt like this was a horse that had like a 1 window breeding season, because our stable's getting better and better so quickly over on left turf. We probably wouldn't breed it outside. So this is a Kingslayer grandkid. But I really like the stars we got on this one. And it's a female S plus. I don't know. We might have something we can build up here.
Nice. So yeah, if you pick up any of our 0-year-olds, hit us up at Kramer Centric on X, and we'll kick you a freebie. In fact, I'll just before we give out our an FFPC lineup, I'll just give you a quick let's peruse all of our stuff on the market.
Yep. We got some
so yeah, we'll kick you a 2 or
so honestly, some of these 2-year-olds, we should just start firing those into claimers.
Okay.
It's because I kind of like the idea of giving them a horse that's eligible to run week 1 of its first racing eligible season instead of already a week in on its 2-year-old,
Well, hit us up. We're moving product. And,
we're moving units over here.
All right, Bowser.
Fran Dumpy, dude, unloaded VCRs off of fucking that's for the Colby Dant fans out there.
Oh yeah,
you doing a Fran Dumpy fucking reference.
Shout out to the chat. I see T-Merc in there. I see Thunderlips, great name. Yeah, so happy Foals Day to everyone. Hope everyone's having a good first week of the season.
Yeah,
plan is for us to be back next week, but we will not be back at the same time, so stay tuned. I'm thinking we end up doing a Thursday
that
gimmick
Yeah.
But we'll see. Based on
I
what's
have
going on.
doctor's appointments the next couple Fridays, so it's gonna.
So stay tuned, and then of course the Derby / week 4 show also. We'll figure out what we're gonna do there. But let's before we get out of here, Bowser, you want to whip up a quick?
Yeah, let's whip one up. Let's whip it out. Dude.
All right, let me pick up a team.
I almost think we should do 2 here because I've played it multiple ways in my head, but like you said, the tout way is the.
Are we doing? All right, we're gonna do. Let me sign up here. I'll add you after.
Yeah.
All right. I cannot. It's not letting me do. It's failing on location check because I can't. I don't know. Whenever I'm streaming, it like blocks me from doing. We might have lied. All right. Well, I will post our lineup.
Well, we can still pick it.
You're right. All right. So let's go through it. So basically, the rules of the game.
Yeah. So okay, for this division round, it's the playoff challenge 2 is what they call it, because there's one that starts at the beginning where you basically have to leave 2 teams off your list. But in this one now, we have every team included. So we're just picking a guy from each team. No kicker, no defense.
I will. I'm actually going to share my screen because I do have.
2 flex, quarterback, tight end, 2 running back, 2 receiver.
Yeah, I'm going to show it so it makes more sense. Let me clear out my. All right.
All right. So I'm thinking I saw you saw the same news that I did about Mr. because I was thinking Sam Darnold was a fun pick for this, right?
Oh, I love this.
But with his injury news, I think we still stay in that game and we go Brock Purdy.
Okay.
And the reason for this is because Christian McCaffrey clearly one of the most popular running back left in this contest. So most people are going to be picking him. So if we can kind of we kind of weave from the crowd here, and now we can we don't have to worry about being too different from the rest of the way.
Yeah, and something to think about in this contest with like making your obviously you can make the same lineup as someone else, and so there's an element of wanting to be contrarian. But ownership is different because you really have to think about who is going to be the most popular pick from a team. And so to what Bowser said, McCaffrey is going to be an easy person to click for most people, especially without Kittle. So it makes Purdy less popular. So, all right. So who do you like from the Seahawks then? Do we just stay chalky with JSN?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking because of the injury, the downfield stuff might not be there. Oblique injury.
So do we go Charbonnet?
Well, that or AJ Barner.
Oh, yeah.
I think there could be a high volume. This is a tight end premium format. We forgot to mention that. So you get 1.5 points per catch on the tight end. I think AJ Barner could have a fucking volume game here.
You know what?
10, 15 targets.
Great take. I just bet AJ Barner 2 touchdowns, 14.
Yeah. No, I love that, dude. I'm gonna ladder his catches and yards, for this game. Like this is
all right. Done.
Yeah, this is. I thought this is a great way to stack this game. Okay.
All right. Let's do the other Saturday game.
All right.
Which is.
So I hope you see. We just pulled back the curtain on how we think on this.
All right. So Buffalo and Denver.
Okay. So this was an interesting one for me because I kind of felt like we should probably be playing Cortland Sutton's really the only Denver play for me in this one.
I like RJ Harvey. I also like
you do
Cortland
okay. I mean I could be in on that, but I think Cortland Sutton we could be looking at high volume, like serious and multiple games with him. That's the thing I like about him is like if they do make it to the Super Bowl on a 3-game run, I feel like we're getting 20 catches, 300 yards, and a couple touchdowns at least.
I think he's going to have a tough matchup in this game. That would be my only pushback. I agree with you. RJ Harvey, you also have the red flag of could J.K. Dobbins return?
That too. I didn't mind Hunt, but I also didn't mind Evan Ingram from them kind of like I don't know. I'm kind of very pass catcher heavy on for this contest.
I don't have a strong take on the Broncos, to be honest with you. Like because I think Sutton will be the most Sutton and Nix will be the two most popular plays.
Yeah.
I kind of think RJ Harvey's a fun play because I think J.K.
You know
Dobbins.
what? Let's do RJ Harvey because you know what? It's not too cute, I don't think. In an elevation game like this, J.K. Dobbins won't be back for this game. So
no, and here's what I would say, right? Maybe they lose the game, but also, how many bell cows are there?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you know what? There's more receivers than running backs that I like left in this. And so
okay,
fill one running back spot with him. I think that's a smart way to do it. Yeah.
So then what do we do with Buffalo?
I was thinking James Cook's the guy there, right?
It's just
like because we're hoping for that to be a grinded out game in kind of cold elevation or whatever. Like,
okay, so wide receivers.
I mean, Puka seems like the pretty easy play for the Rams. I could be talked into Devontae Adams because of the way they use him in the red zone.
Yeah, I don't think we need to get cute here.
I think Puka, dude, he's just such a machine. Dude. Like,
yeah, we already have some contrarian stuff.
We're contrarian enough, I think, here to
And then Bears.
I think we go tight end again here for the flex spot, and we take a Colson.
Play it safe with Loveland feels like the safest play.
Yeah. I had him in both my lineups from the before. And yeah, he rewarded me for my faith in him so far. And so once again, I think it's a volume play, right? And so I thought there was 2 volume tight ends left in this thing with potentially Barner with the Darnold injury and Loveland, just how the Bears offense is running as it is. So yeah, I think for this weekend, we're looking at 20 targets between those 2 guys right there.
I'll transitioning to the last game. I would also throw Dalton Schultz in the mix. Nico Collins is out.
100% with you on this one. I was like, dude, we're gonna play some volume tight end here because I think, I have a feeling, especially with Houston, I think they're one and done here. I think they lose to the Patriots. So if we're gonna for that one and done guy, let's get a volume tight end there with that premium score.
Just having Nico out makes it so you can kind of take a shot at someone. I think he'll be somewhat popular, but I don't mind.
So now we've backed ourselves into a Patriots receiver.
I haven't played a ton of Steph Diggs.
I don't hate that.
He hasn't had a big game, but he's had big games earlier in the or we can pivot something and go, let's see.
We could go Sutton and go with like Ramondre Stevenson at the running back spot there.
Yeah. I just worry. I was shocked to find out he only had 10 carries in the last game.
I know.
I don't mind going. I don't think Diggs will be a popular play. I don't mind doing that. And
I just worry because Houston's defense is so fucking good, dude.
No, I know. It's like I don't really. All right, so the pivot would be to go Mondre and Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Wonder if that's just making us more popular.
Probably. I mean, if you you can pivot off Ramondre and go Henderson if you really want to be a fucking.
They don't trust him. They don't trust him.
I know.
Have to.
But do you want to be a cowboy about it?
All right. So how does this look?
I like this.
All right. And you want to do another one?
It's like, yeah. I mean, just think about like, if we're thinking in terms of who do we realistically think can make the Super Bowl? Well, we see the Niners consistently.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone. But like, we avoid McCaffrey, who's probably going to be the most popular guy in this thing. And so that should make us different enough where we just need the volume to those tight ends, and I think we're looking pretty good.
All right, let me clear this one out, and we'll do another one, and I'll enter them in later. I don't think
you screenshot that one so we knew. Yeah, remember?
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna double check first though.
Okay, so for the other one, I'm thinking we go AFC quarterback since we already have an NFC quarterback.
Okay.
But I could be talked into something else. But I kind of like having the where we're hoping for the Super Bowl where both our guys get there, you know.
All right. So the chalk,
Because that's the thing. In this, I don't know if we mentioned Super Bowl counts double points in this.
double points in the Super Bowl. So the chalk will be Josh Allen, obviously.
Yes. I was thinking Drake May or Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is the fun play.
Yeah, let's do that because that opens us up to
Yeah, because I mean, I think Bo Nix or the other side of it is, could Josh Allen be the highest scoring player on his team even if he loses? Yeah, let's play Bo. Let's do Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think this is more fun.
All right, so then what do we do for the Bill? So for this Bills team, what are we going to do?
I think we go back to James Cook again. I think we read that one.
Double James Cook.
Yeah. I think
Shakir is not going to be guarded by Sutton. That would be the only other play.
Oh god, Shakir almost cost me my fantasy championship this year. So
all right.
He some games will have 15 targets, some games will have 4. You know, it's just
do we go McCaffrey this time?
Yes. We want to get a piece of him in this thing.
Seattle, do we go do we stick with Barner? Do we go JSN?
I like JSN here.
All right.
I think once again, it's another guy we should definitely have a piece of still, just in case Darnold's able to heave it downfield with that injury. And I think we can go Puka. I think Bo Nix makes us different enough from most quarterbacks in this thing to be pretty chalky for the rest of the way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't mind being on Adams versus Puka, but I'm also fine going all Puka. Are we going to do the same? What's the other side of the combo for the Bears?
You know what?
Roma Dunze would be the onion play. He's got a cute. He's got a questionable tag.
Yeah.
I just don't know who else we're going to play. I like Odunze. I like Loveland. I mean, Odunze had
Loveland. I think we can be chalky with still some of the same plays we had on the last one. I think the quarterback and McCaffrey difference makes it different enough overall.
So you want to go Puka? Puka and Loveland. And then in the New England game, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah. We are.
Do we want to do a Hunter Henry lineup?
That's what I was thinking. I wouldn't mind having a piece of him on this because I could have gone with him over Loveland maybe if we found a bear we really like there. I mean, do we want to go Monangai? It's a flex. And
yeah, I just hate taking split. I hate taking split. No, let's take Loveland. I think the opportunity is so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's just
and then
share with that thing with him is
for the Texans. Do we take a shot on someone like Jaden Higgins?
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
It could be one game.
Is Christian Kirk?
I don't think you can do it twice.
I don't think you can do it twice either. That's why I think Higgins is very interesting because Christian Kirk just did it.
Higgins is going to get guarded by Christian Gonzalez. I think that's the only concern there.
So yeah, maybe
I don't really love any. Like this is one of those where I'd probably be like
Jalen Noel. No,
no, I'd say like we either go Woody Marks. Or we go Dalton Schultz.
We'll go back to Dalton Schultz.
I don't hate that. We go 3 tight ends differently.
Yeah.
All right. Fun. All right.
Oh yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah.
I will
Theory 101 from the dude, and this is probably my favorite fantasy contest of the year. You know, out of all the best,
I agree, but disagree. The week 1, the opening playoff contest is the best when you have to decide which teams to not play. They still have to kick their defense. But yeah, no, this is a great format. Again, myffpc.com. Use the code SGPN, get a free $25.
Super Bowl counts double, tight ends 1.5 points per catch, and you can only pick one guy per team, so you have to pick someone from everybody. So yeah.
It's such a simple format. It's great. Got to think a little bit. You don't want you don't want to get duplicated.
It really is. I think for photo finish heads, like when you're used to the puzzle of putting grades and stars together, it really is similar to that. Like it's putting the puzzle together. Like
hell yeah. All right, Bowser. Anything else you want to get off your chest before we get out of here?
Nope. But I'm gonna get something on my chest, and that's a he's ready to gig tattoo.
Let's go. Get the tramp stamp, right? All right, Bowser, good shit. We'll see everyone next week. We think probably on Thursday. Good luck on the racing or on the track this week. Next week we'll do a breeding deep dive, I'm sure, maybe update everyone with how our racers are doing. And until now and then, if you want to get your stable started, SGPN for the code, and you get access to Turf Club. Week 3 we have the Turf Classic. Week 4 whenever we run our stream, we'll run the Dirt Classic, and you get free access to that if you are in the Turf Club. So again, get your stable started with the code SGPN. Bowser, I have a lot of tickets to go acquire downstairs. I will be on VSiN live tonight, Sports Gambling Podcast live with Sean Stacking the Money Green. Anywhere you get VSiN, YouTube TV, Sirius XM, etc. And last thing, check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. NFL season's ramping down. College basketball season's ramping up. Good luck with the bets this weekend, Bowser. And for everyone else, let it ride.